Welcome back to the ERL INDYCAR series, as the drivers now go ahead for their lap behind the pace car. There'll be 18 racing laps here in race number 5. There'll be INDYCAR starting on pole from Tommy and Daf Sanchez. David Camno will be 4th from Thornburg and Ericsson. Devin Butler will start in 7th, right in front of Marcus Nelson, who has won around a track very similar to this in Monaco in the ERL Formula E Series. TJ Davis is 9th from the man we're currently on board with, Mel Sauce Micah in the 11, who crashed out last time out in a incident that was far than great here in Music City. The 11 has a chance to rebound, but that qualifying performance wasn't what he needed. Ghosted starts 11th from an RQ and Dominic Hudson. Then it's Salas Kynes, Francis Austin, Nevin Colby, Davy Guerrero, O'Quee, Lil Bonzo, KV Racing not having the best qualifying. Max Sportcar, Elliot Deli, and Hector Mark. So Brandretti, Chip Ganassi, and Revolution Racing, they all had qualifyings of 2 halves. Well, yeah, I was going to say maybe not Chip Ganassi, but no, Thornburg in the top 5 is a very good qualifying effort. Most moves are going to be made on the opening lap as the pace car pulls into the pits. Expect a lot of carnage in the second sector of this track, especially at the hairpin and at the chicane. But for INDYCAR, can she take victory in Season 2? Boogity, 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 let's go racing! On board with Gurovich, rising up through the hill of turn number 1. And she's put a lot of distance between her and Tommy already, the gap about a second, as they head into that tricky second sector, especially if you're trying to go in 2x2, but no one's trying to do it. That's why the pace car starts are so good at a track like this. They minimize the damage that can happen, especially down at the hairpin, as we look back with David Camino in the 88. Heading through the tunnel, on board with the 35 of INDYCAR, heads through the chicane, hops over the curb. Later on, we might see that more often, and Camino's hit the wall! My goodness me! How has he got it back pointing in a straight line? Thornburg's got front wing damage. I expect Camino's got some too. He doesn't. He was spinning when we were on board with him. How has he managed to keep it in a straight line? And more than anything, walk away with minimal damage, to be honest. Gurovich setting a fastest third sector on lap 3, still with the fastest lap. For Carson Thornburg, scruffy opening lap, dropped from 5th to 6th, but I'm sure there will be a lot worse things to come for him. Butler, the teammate of INDYCAR, with a 5-second time penalty. Here comes Marcus Nelson up the hill, slots his way alongside Butler. Can he hold on to 7th position? There he can't, because Butler's looking to the inside of him. Holds on to the racing line, hopping over the curbs, and goes around the outside of Carson Thornburg, forced wide and into the wall for the number 71. And he's dropped behind, and Yellow's in the second. It's the race leader! INDYCAR in the wall! Sanchez sideswipes! Tommy now leads the way, but for INDYCAR, facing backwards at the chicane for the 35 and hop! Oh my goodness! A knock you! Hops over the car and the pole sitter is out. Full course caution and a pile up down at the chicane. And here in Nashville, well, it's only so much you expect to see, but definitely didn't expect to see a pile up of that scale. Not on the 3rd lap, as we've entered lap 4. We saw one of the Powers and Revolution Racing drivers. We saw both of them go airborne, I think. Yeah, Hexel might have gone airborne. I know an RQ went to airborne for sure, because Camino just went on by. But what of Devin Butler in 6th position? If you'll remember, he was wall riding, but he's currently got away with it. Doesn't seem to have too much damage on lap 4. So it's Tommy leading the way in the 45. Cuts the corner, and he's in the wall as well. Looked like Sanchez was going to do the same thing. Camino's been given a time penalty for colliding with the back of the Philippine driver, but Daf Sanchez leads in the ERL INDYCAR series. And it's always going to be circumstances like this. Tommy's still in this race with the net race lead, of course, with... Oh, ghosted in the wall. Ghosted hitting the barriers for Apex Pinnacle. Queez got a time penalty, and rookie Dominic Hudson faces backwards. Out goes Hudson and an RQ. And oh my goodness me, Lil Buns is in a scenario that he can't get out of, and he is out too. Niven Colby also out of this race. Carson Thornburg comes into the pits. The McLaren of Francis Austin also coming in. It's another full course caution on lap number 5. Daf Sanchez. Well, he's got experience with winning some crazy races. He's also got experience of crashing out of some crazy races. He's currently leading in the INDYCAR series as we get back underway on lap 5, heading through the tunnel. And it's always just trying to make sure that your braking point is correct as he heads through the chicane, hops over the curb, hits the wall. The 72 hits the wall. The 88's also in the wall. Sanchez has got it pointed back in the right direction quickly, but Camno still facing the wrong direction. Here comes Devin Butler, slams into him. 10-second time penalty for Devin Butler. Also in the wall, Marcus Nelson gets it pointing in the right direction quickly, and Camno is out of this one. David Camno out on lap 5, and neither Power Motorsports man will finish this. If I've got it right, yeah. Tommy and Ericsson both coming in. Sanchez stays out though. Hards go on for Tommy. Butler's serving his 10-second time penalty. But it's Daf Sanchez leading the way on lap 6 from Marcus Nelson. And who's going to be third here? I think it's going to be Davy Carrera, yeah. So the top two, both multiple-time ERL Formula E Series race winners, yet to take their first INDYCAR victory. One of them's even a Formula E champion. So, you know, when they joined this series, we expected them to give us a lot of action, and that's action that they've given us. Hopping over the curbs, into the wall again for Sanchez. How does he keep pirouetting into a straight line? I don't know. On board with Nelson. And look at the state of his soft tyres. Didn't really mention the tyre situation much recently as he hits the wall too. Slide job for the 13. A lot of weaving for Davy Carrera. Tommy on the back of these guys trying to close up. But everyone, I think, should be taking this a lot more cautiously now. Using as much curb as you can without touching the gravel, as that sport car getting past Francis Austin. If he can, he's going to have to send it down the inside. Nelson's come in. I believe Tommy would be leading. Maybe? No, Sanchez still out there. Carrera and Tommy fighting over second position as the championship leaders down in 8th, doing a remarkable comeback drive so far. There goes Carrera in the 19, up into second, but he's still alongside with the 45, coming through that downhill turn and into the hairpin, the slowest turn on the calendar. Full steering lock needed, and, well, Sanchez has gone off again, has he? For a man leading this race, he's having a pretty scruffy time at the head of the pack. Tommy and Carrera heading down the hill now. Keeps it out of the wall for the 45, similarly so for the number 19. I think Sanchez might want to pit very soon. And a lot of weaving. Bort car in the wall. Bort car facing backwards. We saw Delhi hitting the wall too, but for Bort car, he went airborne for a second there. The 38's missing part of his front wing. But the championship leader's got a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision, and he was pirouetting himself. Sanchez is serving his time penalty. Tommy now leads. There goes Thornburg down the inside up into second position. And Linus Eriksson on the back. Where is Sanchez going to funnel out of this race? He's going to still be in front of his teammate at the very least. But of course, Bortcar also with a time penalty. And oh my goodness, Andretti are doing the 2-stop because Sanchez is on another set of softs. Carrera getting past Eriksson, it seemed. No. The number 8 still in front of the 19. And Tommy, that's a bit of a harrowing line heading through the chicane. You don't want to take too much curb or else you'll be too close to the wall to steer yourself out of it. Seen it so many times before today. You hope not to see it again. Once again, close to the wall for Milsos. in the 11, and Port car's off again. Also in the wall, Devon Butler, missing part of his front wing. Yellow's in the second, but they've gone away quite as cleanly as they could have, of course, having hit the wall. That's 2 drivers in the wall too. Port car really struggling with his tyres. Look at that, 19% tyre wear. And his tyres are cold too, 81 degrees C. Those softs are way out of their operating window in terms of tyre temperature. Meanwhile, the Revolution Racing driver of Tommy, well, he's got tyres to go quite a ways into this race. And he's managing that temperature quite well too. Heads over the curb though. Don't want to do that too many times, as we've seen multiple times in this race before. Looking back with Carson Thornburg, whose rear tyres, well, say that they're still with him is something else. Is backwards. That's Austin spinning around, having a little bit of a ballerina session, dropping down to 5th position as Sanchez has just driven past him. And for Daf Sanchez, he's a rookie to the INDYCAR series, but he's certainly driven countless laps in Formula E, and he knows this car quite well. 9 to the checker. As we look to the 45 of Tommy heading down the hill, there are some dark clouds headed over Nashville right now, but as for when and if they'll impact this race, well, I couldn't tell you. I'm not a weatherman. I don't get paid for that. I don't get paid at all. On board with the 8 of Linus Eriksson. And Tommy's had enough, has he? He has! He's out! Tommy out of this race! Race leader Tommy in the 45 has just wrecked. And Carson Thornburg now is in the lead here in Nashville. Can you believe it? I cannot. Not even close. Full course caution is ending. It was a relatively quick one, because there really wasn't that much to clear up as we're back underway on lap 10 of 19. 9 to the white flag, 10 to the checkered, as in comes Thornburg. Well, makes sense, his tyres really couldn't go for too much longer in this race as we head on to lap 11 of 19. Eriksson leading the pack. Thornburg might drop down the order somewhat. Davis moves up into 3rd. Ghosted up into 5th. And Thornburg, he's headed out the pits now as Prix getting passed by Davi Sir Carrera. Max Borkar at the very back of the pack for the championship leader. He set a fastest sector. And what's the game that they're playing at Andretti Green Racing with Borkar? I think they're trying to play it safe. But he's down in 14th. He has to make 4 more passes to take the lead in this race, although I'm pretty sure that the man closest to him in the championship is out. As into the wall goes Linus Eriksson and Daf Sanchez. Both drivers in the wall having a little bit of a pirouette session. And, big hit for TJ Davis. Still yellow's down in the second. 5-second time penalty's gone to the 3. But they've just about managed to clear up the track in time. Sanchez has lost time on Eriksson, surely. More than that, I'm shocked that neither Eriksson nor Sanchez has front wing damage. Davis doesn't. We were on board with him as he ran into the back. As Yellow's still down there as Ghosted went for a move. That's for Borkar, who's lost part of his front wing. Davis moves up into 2nd. Sanchez funnels his way through the pits with 7 to the checker. It is still very much dark out there. There are still clouds. Another set of softs going on for the number 72 driver. So I'm pretty sure that they're anticipating the rain, but they know that they can't make it to when they believe the rain is going to fall. And I think that is a very good decision, a wise decision from Andretti. As Borkar's only moved up to 13th through that entire stage of pit stops. Heading over the curb, almost the wall for Exton. Housey kept it out. Thornburg moves up into 2nd, spin for Davis. TJ Davis in the wall. Milsos Michael almost also into the wall, but kept it out. On board we go with car number 11. Heads through the chicane. With 7 to the white flag. In comes Linus Eriksson. Carson Thornburg will be leading. In comes Milsos Micah as well with 6 to the white flag. What tyres going on? It's the medium yellow wall tyres for the yellow and blue driver. Where's he gonna come out though? I think he's gonna drop outside of the top 10. He might actually come out at the back of the pack. Comes through turn number 1 and somehow still in front of Max Bortcar. That's really telling for how troubling his day has been so far. But you know what? Anything and everything can happen in the ERL, and we've seen multiple times that it often does. Even today, with the amount of crashes we've seen. Into the wall goes Davis. Let's add another one to the crash counter. Flipped upside down by Davy Sercarera. And it's a pile up once more. Full course caution as Linus Eriksson gets a time penalty. I'm pretty sure Sercarera also got one. As they head through the chicane, they've cleared the upside down Premier Power Team car with 5 to the white flag. Davy Sercarera has found his way to a 5-second time penalty. As in comes Elliot Deli for a second stop of the race. Now we know that Nelson's not going to make it to the end. Hexel Marks coming into the pits. I'm pretty sure that the top 4, top 5, maybe even top 6, maybe everyone might have to pit again if you haven't already. I'm pretty sure that the hards are the only tyres that can go to the end at any point. Is it another set of hard? No, it's a set of mediums for Bortcar. Gets that front wing all fixed up. And was that a drop of rain? Thornburg in the wall! Gets it pointing the right direction. But now on board with Davy Sercarera with that 5-second time penalty, of course. Heads over the curb as well, but just about doesn't put it in the wall for the KV Racing driver. And yellow's still down there in the second. Who's that for? Is that Micah? Yes, it is. And also Devin Butler. Both drivers with front wing elements just thrown across the track like it was litter. Which I feel like I'm not exactly the right person to say this, but I feel like it should be said. Please don't litter. It's just not smart. And Bortcar makes his way through. I'm not too sure why they didn't clear it up too quickly, but Austin now on the back. Like alongside with Sercarera. He moves up into second position. And while his teammate, Linus Eriksson, is in 6th position with a 5-second time penalty, Francis Austin could try and take victory. He's going to have to close up 7 seconds. 8 seconds, actually. And he's going to need a good strategy and some luck. And with Thornburg spinning, with yellow flags down there, he might just get a little more luck. If we see something to what happened to Tommy, where you just spin out on your own, heads over the curb, doesn't go too deep through the chicane, and that's exactly what you got to do. You just got to take a little bit of curb, just not too much as to where you'll throw it into the wall. Because if you do, that's going to be your day over. And Sercarera dropping behind Nelson. He's got the inside line, but they're still alongside each other. But only one of them's going to maintain position. It's going to have to be the Danish number 13, with 3 to the white flag. On board we go as Butler comes into the pits on his own. That's his 3rd stop. Here comes Davy Sercarera. 34% tyre wear. He's not making it to the end. He's making it to lap 18, surely. Maybe even lap 17 as Eriksson sends it down the inside, and I wouldn't be surprised as yes, Daf Sanchez, lurching around the outside of Linus Eriksson as well. Just doesn't make the passes. Sercarera in the wall. Yellow's in the second. Wasn't for Thornburg, it was for Davy. We often don't see yellows down there as Quee gets past 2. And look at that. No push to pass to use for the number 19 as he's in the wall again. 24% car damage. 88 degrees Celsius on those mediums. He's really struggling to get any heat or grip into the tyres. They're at 27% tyre wear. Austin's coming for his 3rd stop. I'm shocked that Thornburg hasn't. That elevates Marcus Nelson to P2, Eriksson to P3. Sanchez to the real P3. Sir Carrera comes in, serves his time penalty. These guys are going to be the guys that will make it to the end. Softs go on for Millsauce. Bortkar's into the points, which is very good for the man trying to go for another championship in INDYCAR for his team, Andretti Green Racing, who, if you'll remember, took the championship last season. Into the wall for Thornburg. Corner cut warning as well for the 97. Kept it as clean as he could. Still no front wing damage, but I wouldn't be surprised if, he can't use the electrical push to pass anymore. A lot of weaving for the 13. Certainly not everyone's lucky number, but for Marcus Nelson, it's proved to him that it usually is. You can see Bortkar and Butler heading through. Micah and Sir Carrera will also do it. We're on to the penultimate lap here. And also off into the wall is that, yes, it's Millsauce Micah again. On the penultimate lap here in Nashville. That is certainly the type of error you'd see from a rookie. Look at how close Ericsson is. Heading around the outside of Marcus Nelson. Looks back down to the inside, holds his line. Side by side they go, heading down the hill, and that's Ericsson up to P2. Great move, but he's still got the hyperdrive man with him. They've kept it out of the wall ever so close to each other. But that's the move made for Linus. Thornburg heads through the chicane. Close to the wall, should keep it out. He's into the wall and out of the race. Out goes Carson Thornburg. Linus Ericsson will take the lead here in Nashville, with Nelson behind and Sanchez in P3. But of course, that time penalty currently means that Marcus Nelson, in only his 5th INDYCAR start, will take victory in the INDYCAR series. For a man who's won a championship in the Formula E series, he's currently racing with Kwon Todoroki to see who will be the first man to take a championship in both series. As there goes Deli, side by side with Sanchez, heading up the hill and up in front of him. Sanchez looks and holds his line once more. It's like the fight we saw with Nelson and Ericsson earlier on, but Deli once again taking the better line, as Austin also takes the better line, looks to the outside of Sanchez, holds both of their lines quite close to each other, and that's the number 23 in front of the 72, but it's Linus Ericsson, who on track currently leads the way, heads over the curb, into the wall for the number 8. Nelson comes through and hits him, but no penalty's been awarded. And Linus Ericsson, no luck coming the way of him today. It'll go to someone else's, also off into the wall. Who is that? That's Nelson out! Elliot Deli's gonna do it! Marcus Nelson's out of this! We didn't see where the 13 is. There's carnage all across the back of the pack. The other hyperdrive man is facing the wrong way, but it's Elliot Deli who will take victory in the Nashville Fairgrounds. Francis Austin second from Sanchez and Ghosted. Hexelmark comes across the line in 5th from Butler, and somehow, through all of that carnage, Max Bortkar is in fact 7th. No rain at the end of this, shockingly enough. That's the biggest shock of this race, in my opinion. We expected to see some rain. There just wasn't any. It's just so dark, and the teams were on edge because they were expecting rain too. And this is the podium. America, Italy, and the Philippines. The 3 nationalities on the podium. Elliot Deli taking victory from Francis Austin and Dav Sanchez. What a race it was from Ghosted and Hexelmark. And then it's Devin Butler, Max Bortkar, Davy Sir Carrera, and Linus Ericsson. With Millsauce Micah and Quee being the last of your finishers. The non-finishers were Marcus Nelson, Carson Thornburg, TJ Davis, and Tommy. Then David Camno, Will Bonds, Anok Q, Carlos Kynes, Dominic Hudson, Niven Colby, and Mickey Jangurovic. Well, Bortkar still leads the driver's standings in front of Ghosted and Hudson. Then it's Thornburg still after that harrowing race. 1 point behind him, though, is Dav Sanchez, who's trying to do what no man's actually done before, trying to take the championship in INDYCAR after driving in Formula E. Then Elliot Deli, Francis Austin, Lil Buns, Davy Carrera, Devin Butler, Marcus Nelson, who's also trying to go through double, except he's taking the Formula E Championship, so his achievement would be a lot closer to what someone like Juan Pablo Montoya or Tony Stewart would do than Niven Colby, Hexel Mark, Tommy, Oakwee, Linus Eriksson, Salas Kynes, Inocu, and TJ Davis and Mickey Ongarovic still yet to score. In the constructors' standings, heading into the next round of the championship, Andretti Green Racing leading the way on 111 points from Chip Ganassi and Apex Pinnacle. Then it's Prema Power Team, KV Racing Lotus, Arrow McLaren SP and Power Motorsport, then Sims Motorsport, Hyperdrive Racing, Revolution Racing, and Dragon Penske. And after all of that, I think we're going to have to trade racing in America for stuff that we see around the world. The ERL Formula E Series will come next.